Hello everyone and welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Matt.
Welcome everybody. I am Shane. Now we're at part 2 of Pigs is Pigs.
Pigs is Pigs.
So, speaking of pigs, well, you probably haven't, but have you ever had a pet pig?
I have not had a pet pig. I had a dog which sometimes acted like a pig.
And pigs do kind of act like dogs. I've heard that pigs are actually as intelligent as dogs.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Quite intelligent, but I don't know if they would make a good pet. I don't know. But how about a guinea pig?
Okay, I haven't had a guinea pig, but when I was young, I had a pet gerbil.
Same thing, right? I mean, I don't know the difference between, we have like guinea pigs, we have gerbils, we have hamsters, and they're all fluffy rodents, and I can't tell the difference.
Well, gerbils aren't that fluffy.
They're not fluffy?
They're not very fluffy.
Okay.
They have fur, but they're not fluffy, and they have big ears and a long tail.
That sounds like a rat or a mouse.
It looks like a mouse with bigger ears.
Oh, really? So gerbils aren't fluffy?
Gerbils are not very fluffy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I actually had one gerbil, and then my sister also got a gerbil, and we kept them in one cage.
Female and male?
It turned out it was female and male. and so we went from having 2 gerbils to having about, 7 or 8 gerbils.
Just like in the story, right?
Yeah, so I had to start giving them away because, so I started giving them to my classmates, and all my classmates had gerbils too.
Wow, so you were probably a popular kid at school, right?
Yeah.
Not with their parents.
The gerbil kid.
Their parents weren't happy about it.
Well, who doesn't want a gerbil?
I don't know. I had pet mice, and same thing. I had 2, and didn't realize, because you can't look at them and tell if they're male or female. You just find out when suddenly there's a bunch of babies. But I made the mistake of keeping the male inside the cage with the female, and the male proceeded to eat the babies.
Oh.
And it was horrible. They were like, it was like a really bad memory. So
okay,
I think we need some time for me to calm down. We'll get into the story.
Okay, sounds good.
The next day, Flannery visited Morehouse to collect the money, but Morehouse still refused to pay up. Eventually, the company's president tried to figure out a solution. He sent a letter to a zoology professor that asked if guinea pigs were truly pigs. Months later, a reply letter arrived with the answer. Guinea pigs had no relation to the pigs you find on farms.
All right, so Pigs is Pigs, part 2. So in part 1, we have Flannery and we have Morehouse. And Flannery is trying to collect money for the delivery of some guinea pigs, which he thinks are pigs.
Yeah.
And that should cost more than a pet, which a guinea pig actually is. So they're having a bit of a problem here, figuring out how much tariff needs to be paid.
That's right. There's been a disagreement, and Morehouse doesn't want to pay the 30 cents. He thinks he should only pay the 25 cents that, pets should cost. And yeah, they're having a disagreement, and Morehouse has actually written letters to the president, to the tariff department, to the claims department. He's gone through many people to try and get this price reduced.
It doesn't sound like a lot of money to make all of this effort, but I guess it's just the point.
Yeah, I think
that's
what it is.
Okay. All right, so continuing the story, the next day, Flannery visited Morehouse to collect the money, right? He's like, hey man, you need to pay this money. The guinea pigs are here. These pigs are here. Give me my money, right? But Morehouse still refused to pay up. So to pay up means to give money to somebody.
Who's demanding it?
Right, it's kind of like the feeling is that I owe you money and I haven't given it to you, so I should pay up.
Yeah, it's like you could say to someone like, hey Shane, pay up. Like you owe me, pay up.
I'd be like, oh, I have no money. Okay, so he needs to pay up, all right.
Eventually, the company's president tried to figure out a solution. he sent a letter to a zoology professor that asked if guinea pigs were truly pigs.
All right, so zoology or zoology, that's just the study of animals, right? So a professor who studies animals.
You guess that because it sounds like zoo, so...
And ology means to study something, right?
So zoology, study of animals. So he is a professor. So a professor is a teacher who works at a university, essentially. So someone who teaches in a higher learning place, like a university or college.
Right, you wouldn't say about your elementary school teacher, that's my professor. It's for higher learning.
Yes, so anything, above high school, it's usually a professor, and it's, you certainly wouldn't call the person teaching you in college, you couldn't call them teacher. That'd be an insult because they are a professor. So for example, the math professor explained the solution in a clear manner.
I doubt it. That's difficult.
1 + 1 = 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd be learning that in college, though. Okay, so continuing. Months later, a reply letter arrived with the answer. Guinea pigs had no relation to the pigs you find on farms. So, in fact, it's not what you think of as a pig. It's just a pig in the name. But it has no relation to the pigs you find on a farm. So if you say something has a relation to something else, relation is a noun. It just means the way in which two or more things are connected to each other. So for example, we have the same last name, but there is no relation.
Okay.
So that could be by blood, right? To be related to somebody. Yeah, but in this case, pigs are not related to guinea pigs.
Yeah, it turns out guinea pigs have a very confusing name because they're not related to Guinea either, which is a country. They're not from Guinea. They're not pigs. So it's a very confusing name for these animals, but that's the cause of this whole story.
That's why we have this story. Okay, why don't we take a break and find out what happens next.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hualien。我们先前读到快递公司的站员 Mike Flannery 认为天竺鼠是某一种外来品种的猪，于是他就向 Mr. Morehouse 来收取猪的运费30美分，而不是收取这个宠物的运费25美分。那 Mr. Morehouse 很生气，回家写信投诉。后来站员 Mike Flannery 为了要收钱，然后去拜访了 Mr. Morehouse， 可是 Mr. Morehouse 还是拒绝付清费用。最后公司的总裁就试着找出一个解决方法，他就寄了一封信给一位动物学教授，来问说天竺鼠是否真的是猪。那几个月后呢，教授回的信抵达了，他就说天竺鼠跟你在农场里看到的猪没有任何关系，好吗？好，那么看到 zoology 或是念作 zoology， 它表示动物学 ，professor 是教授，那么 relation 这个名词表示关系、关联或是亲戚、亲属。那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，这边我们来学习 if 主词加动词当作名词子句的用法。if 可以引导名词子句去表达是否那么可以用 whether 来代换。那么相较而言whether 是比较正式的用法。那么 whether 引导的名词子句可以当主词、受词和补语用，可是 if 引导的名词子句不能当主词哦，它只能当受词和补语用。我们看两个例句 I wonder if the story is true 或是 I wonder whether the story is true 我想知道这个故事是否属实，是否是真的。那么这时候我们的 if the story is true 或者是 whether the story is true 是当受词用。下一个例句是 Whether the story is true doesn't matter 这个故事是否属实并不重要。那这时候 Whether the story is true 是当主词，所以我们不能用 if 来替换哦。好，另外要注意的是介系词后面只能接 whether 子句来当受词，不可以接 if 子句。像 They are arguing about whether aliens exist 他们正在争论外星人是否存在。那这时候我们看到 whether aliens exist 是当 about 的受词，所以不能用 if 代换哦。介华课文中
By this time, the number of guinea pigs was more than 4,000, and Flannery's office was completely full. The company instructed Flannery to collect 50 cents from Morehouse for the original 2 guinea pigs, but Morehouse had moved away. The company then told Flannery to send the extra guinea pigs to its main office, but it too soon ran out of space. Even so, Flannery continued to send guinea pigs. When his office was finally free of guinea pigs, Flannery vowed that any animal they received in the future would be charged as pets. He smiled as he realized that it wasn't so bad. At least the guinea pigs weren't elephants.
Welcome back, everybody. So before the break, the company president decided to try to get to the bottom of this. And he wrote to a zoology professor to find out, hey, are guinea pigs, in fact, pigs? And the answer was no, there is no relation between the two.
Right.
So...
And so, well, yeah, at this point now they have, they have 8 guinea pigs.
That's right.
So they have, there's more guinea pigs than they started with already. So
yeah, let's find out what happens.
By this time, the number of guinea pigs was more than 4,000. And Flannery's office was completely full.
Okay, this is ridiculous. How long did they wait?
I don't know how much time they haven't really said how much time has passed here in the story.
It would have to be months, right?
Actually quite a while.
At least. Okay, so 40,000 is that
4,000.
4,000,
So
even 4,000.
A lot of guinea pigs.
You'd really have to take care of that many too. Would be a real hassle in cleaning up after them.
I think that, the office would have to be a mess.
Sheesh, okay.
The company instructed Flannery to collect 50 cents from Morehouse for the original 2 guinea pigs, but Morehouse had moved away. So that means they have decided to reduce the price to 25 cents per pet.
Yes.
As it was originally said to be.
And luckily they didn't. They just did it on the original.
Yeah, they're not charging him for the additional.
Yeah, because 4,000 times, that could be a lot of money. Right. So we have the word original here, which is an adjective. Original just means existing at the beginning of a particular period of time or a particular process or activity. So for example, you could say, they chose her original idea for the project. So that would kind of be at the very beginning, she had this idea. It was the original idea.
And we're talking about the original 2 guinea pigs.
Original 2 are just
first
the
ones.
Right. Not any of the baby guinea pigs that then grew up and had more babies and had more babies and bam. Okay, so continuing the story, the company then told Flannery to send the extra guinea pigs to its main office. But it, too, soon ran out of space. Even so, Flannery continued to send guinea pigs.
Okay.
Okay, so there's not enough space in the office, so he has to send them to the main office, but they keep reproducing, and pretty soon...
Guinea pigs everywhere. So he's sending the extra guinea pigs. The extra is an adjective meaning in addition to the number that is already there or that already exists. So when we talk about the extra guinea pigs, we mean those that were produced after the original 2 or the first 2 that were delivered.
Right.
So for example, I brought an extra pair of gloves in case you get cold. So in addition to the 2 for myself, I brought an extra 2 for someone else, an extra pair.
Okay.
When his office was finally free of guinea pigs, Flannery vowed that any animal they received in the future would be charged as pets.
Any animal.
Any animal. So he's vowed, he's promised, or he's made a statement that he's going to stick by this from now on.
To make a vow, yes. To make a promise.
That any animal will be a pet. So
any animal. So a tiger comes in, that's a pet. Okay, so we have the vocabulary word here, receive, which is a verb. To receive means to get or accept something that is sent to you or given to you. It means to receive. So for example, John received a birthday card from his parents. Okay, that's very nice. So continuing the story, he smiled as he realized that it wasn't so bad. At least the guinea pigs weren't elephants.
Okay, I guess that's one way to think of it. But I mean, if the guinea pigs had been, I don't think elephants
would reproduce so quickly.
Right, reproduce that fast.
They might have taken up even less room. But
and I really think if it were elephants, they really should be charging more for the elephants, because that's gonna be a lot heavier to move.
Yeah, I think not just heaviness is the problem there. There's all types of problems if you're trying to hold on to some elephants, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a what do you think question. So imagine you were in Mr. Morehouse's position. What would you do if you were charged a higher fee for something you believed should be charged at a lower rate? So has this ever happened to you?
So
what would you do?
I would, and I have in the past, said something about it. So try to get that rate reduced to the price I believed it to be. So yeah, I've had an incident where I was at a convenience store and they gave me a price which was not the discount price that I had seen displayed.
Okay.
And when I went back and told them that it should be at this price, they corrected the price and gave me the lower rate, and so I only need to pay that.
Yeah, that's actually happened to me a couple of times. Where I'll see that they are advertising something, that it's there's a discounted rate for it, and then when I go to check out, it's still at the original rate, and I have to question them. But if you weren't paying attention, you might just leave the store and didn't get the discount. So it's important to pay attention to what the rates are in these types of situations. And I think if the rate is wrong, you should speak up.
Yeah, certainly you should. I think you should, get the advertised price. So,
right. Okay, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us for this very interesting guinea pig story. Pigs is pigs. See you next time.
Bye.
好，从这个事发当天要收货的那一天啊，到联络快递公司的不同部门，然后再到这个动物学教授他回信，这中间已经过了几个月嘞。那这时候天竺鼠的数量已经超过4000只了。Mike Flannery 的办公室啊，完全塞满了。老师就聊到说，哇，那要照顾这些小动物，要去清理善后，应该很麻烦吧？老师有用到 hassle 这个字 ，H-A-S-S-L-E。hassle 当名词，它表示麻烦。好，那么接着呢，公司就指示 Mike Flannery 要向 Mr. Morehouse 收取最当初那2只天竺鼠的50美分。可是啊 ，Mr. Morehouse 他已经搬走了，那么公司就叫站员把这些多的天竺鼠呢送到总公司。可是总公司也很快就没空间啦。即便如此，他还是继续送，然后直到他的办公室啊，终于把天竺鼠都清空的时候，他发誓未来的任何动物都要把它们视为宠物来收费，不管什么都是宠物就对了。好，来看单字 original， 它是形容词，形容原先的、最初的。那么 extra 它是形容额外的、外加的。receive 是动词，则表示收到、得到。老师刚刚在讲到这个天竺鼠繁殖的时候，有用到 reproduce 这个字，就是在 produce 前面加上 re， 那这个动词它表示繁殖、繁衍。好，这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看这个重点是 run out， 当不及物用，可以表达用完、耗尽或是卖光。那么主词通常是人啊、公司、组织等等，之后可以接 of something。那么 run out of something 就可以表达用完了什么，用尽了什么。举例来说 ，We're running out of time， 我们快要没时间了。那另外 run out 也可以表达说被耗尽、被用完，这时候主词就是被耗尽的事物。那特别注意，这就没有被动语态的用法咯。像 time is running out， we need to hurry， 快没时间了，我们得快一点啊。好，那么以上是这个讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
The next day, Flannery visited Morehouse to collect the money, but Morehouse still refused to pay up. Eventually, the company's president tried to figure out a solution. He sent a letter to a zoology professor that asked if guinea pigs were truly pigs. Months later, A reply letter arrived with the answer. Guinea pigs had no relation to the pigs you find on farms. By this time, the number of guinea pigs was more than 4,000, and Flannery's office was completely full. The company instructed Flannery to collect 50 cents from Morehouse for the original 2 guinea pigs, but Morehouse had moved away. The company then told Flannery to send the extra guinea pigs to its main office, but it too soon ran out of space. Even so, Flannery continued to send guinea pigs. When his office was finally free of guinea pigs, Flannery vowed that any animal they received in the future would be charged as pets. He smiled as he realized that it wasn't so bad. At least the guinea pigs weren't elephants.
Welcome, everybody. Today we're going to be visiting Jian in Hualien, and we're going to learn about the Doulan tribe, which is one of the biggest populations, or has one of the biggest populations, of the Amis people. So we're going to visit the Amis Cultural Museum. It used to be a shrine for Shintoism and used to hold things like weddings, sumo wrestling, harvest festival, coming of age festival. So there was a lot there and there's a lot to see. So why don't we check out the video?
The Dorang or Na Dorang is a tribe in Jian, Hualien. It is one of the local tribes that has the largest population of Armis people. The Armis Cultural Museum in the tribe's territory was built during the Japanese colonial period. It used to be called the Dorang Shrine and mainly promoted Shintoism. This place was so important that the Aborigines held their weddings and sumo wrestling competitions here. It was a place for the harvest festival and the coming of age ceremony too. The Aboriginal people performed rituals here together. Today's Armis Cultural Museum is hidden in a residential area. At the entrance and exit of the nearby parking lot, they put the Armis male and female crowns. The east side is the male warrior's crown, and the west side is the female princess crown, showing the matriarchal society of the Armis. They make it easier for tourists to find the museum and invite them to learn about Armis culture. There is an ancestor worship memorial monument outside the museum. It was once a shelf for placing enemies' skulls during the war. Later, the Japanese government improved this tradition by building the monument. There are performance halls and exhibition spaces in the Armis Cultural Museum. Visit the museum to know more about the traditional culture of the Aboriginal people.
The Amis Cultural Museum really looks like an interesting place to visit. What I think is really cool is it's easy to find because right at the entrance, it has that area where you can see the female princess's crown and the male warrior's crown, and it kind of invites you to go in there and see. I think the coolest thing for me was to see the Ancestor Worship Memorial Monument, because back in the day, enemy skulls that were the enemies who were killed during the war, they put their skulls there to display. That's pretty interesting. So I hope you liked the video and be sure to go and visit. Bye-bye.